What's up? And we are back at it again with the In the Black campaign brought to you by Blavity and Google that will highlight Black businesses and speak to how we as consumers and community can keep these businesses in the Black. The way to do this is to encourage dialogue and understanding between these business owners and their consumers. And I'm your host, Scotty Beam. Hey, everybody. And I have the real MVP here with me. I have Chinonye Akunne, the founder of ILERA Apothecary in Detroit, an organic and vegan skincare line, but it's way much more than that. How are you? How are you feeling? You look beautiful.
Thank you, Scotty. I'm well. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here today.
Oh, you look great. And we got the frames we twinning today. It's cute. All right. So tell me a little bit, about your business as first.
Yeah, so ILERA Apothecary is a plant-based skincare company. We really specialize using West African ingredients and organic ingredients, manufacture everything here in Detroit. Some of our key items are going to be our body moisturizers, our body washes, our face oils, cleansers. We have a whole system designed for every member of the family, from baby to grandma, everyone in between. So that's a little bit about ILERA.
That's amazing. I also read that you co-own this business with your sister.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
this
gosh, I
is,
love
yeah,
that.
it's definitely a family business. And actually, like, the inspiration from the brand was from my youngest brother. That's why I started it to begin with. He was looking for a natural deodorant. He was going through some health issues, completely changing his lifestyle to going completely vegan. Using my background in chemistry, I helped him. My sister, she's an awesome marketer. So she was like, you need to start a skincare company. 5 years later, I'm sitting here talking to you.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Can you tell me about the magic that is working with a relative? That because wouldn't know.
We grew up working, our family owns a business. And so we grew up working in the family business. So we've always worked together. We never knew that we would work together in this capacity. And so having a business with a family member, it's a growth experience, because you have to know when to put your business hat on and when to put your family hat on, and understand that the two cannot cross, because the waters get very muddy when they start to cross.
That's what Biggie says. Keep your family and business completely separated. But working with them, I aspire, because I do want to get in business with my mother, because she's great. She's a great businesswoman. I'm more of a creative person. Is that how it is for you and your sister?
That is literally exactly how it is. I'm the business person. She is the creative person all through. So that's exactly how it is.
Wow. What's one question you should ask yourself before stepping into business with a relative? What should you ask yourself first?
I don't even know about with a relative, but in general, stepping into a business is, why are you doing it? What problem are you looking to solve? So, because like her and I, we are a year apart. And so we know each other very well. And so I guess, to say with a family member, because we're so close, it's like, is it going to ruin our relationship as a family? So that is one thing that I would say, like, kind of looking at the long term and looking at your work styles, because we're so different. Sometimes we do butt heads, but it's like learning how to navigate that territory.
I love actual defining moments, stories. Can you tell me of one that pushed you to make the dream become a reality?
Yes. So there are many, many opportunities that made this dream a reality. When I started it, I was not planning to do this full time at all. I actually had a friend who asked me, like, would you do this full time? And I told him, I said, no. I had a great corporate job. I was on my way. I had a dream of being a CEO of that corporation. So I was like, no. But as I started to go to different events and start to talk to people and started to sell my products and really interact with our customers, that's when it started to change within me, because it's not about me and what I'm selling. It's about, how are these people being affected by what I'm selling, looking at how their skin has transformed, people who have come to us and said, oh my gosh, like I always had these flare-ups from like eczema or psoriasis. This really helped me. Like that right there is like that is what brings me joy in my business, when people like send us those messages and just like relate how we've been able to help them in their own skin journey.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I wanted to talk a little bit about community. Tell us a little bit about the community that surrounds your business. You know, how has this community fueled your drive for the business to succeed?
Our community is the reason that we're here. Our community is so strong, and I don't even, they're so strong because like they believe in me and we pour into them. And like I tell people all the time, our community is so small, but it's so mighty. Like during COVID, I was so shocked at like how the community stepped up for our business, how they made sure that we stayed afloat over the past 5 years. Like anytime we ask something of our community, they come, they bring people, they really show up and show out. And so literally like our community is why we're here today.
Wow, wow. I was reading in your bio, how important it was to have West African practices and philosophies alive in your skincare line. Talk to me a bit more about that. Why was it so important? And also, talk to me a bit more about the philosophies, because I guess, I think I love learning more about skincare lines and lines in general, through influences from other places. I think that's amazing, especially places that I haven't seen, I haven't been, that I feel emotionally tied to. So yes, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so even from our name, ILERA is a Yoruba word from Nigeria. It means health. And so I really wanted to use my Nigerian background in this company, because growing up, we literally we grew up in like two worlds at the same time. I grew up here in America in a Nigerian household. And so watching just like what we ate and like the natural ingredients that we use, from like using the shea butter on my skin, and anytime I had a burn, that was the first thing. The types of leaves that my mother would use to help us when we're sick, she would boil it for us to drink. When I go back to Nigeria, just like the natural herbs and essences that are there, you can see that you can see like what they're eating, how their skin is glowing, how their skin is shining. And it's like, I really wanted to make sure that we were using those native ingredients in our products. In addition to that, a lot of like those pure ingredients. So yeah, so they have those derivatives. So it's like we really wanted to tap into the origin and the true source, and really going back to Nigeria, going back to West Africa is tapping into the true source.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so dope. I cannot wait to try it. Of course, I'm going to support after this. But I did want to talk a little bit about beauty brands, because it's no question that beauty brands have a long history of excluding Black women in this industry as a whole. I remember hearing beauty brands, explain why catering to Black women might hurt your business rather than help it, which is not true. The market for Black women has just always been ignored. Did exclusion of Black women in the skincare industry play a part with you starting this brand?
Honestly, it didn't play a part in me starting the brand, but as I've been in the brand, I have completely witnessed the exclusion. And it's interesting because whenever I go to like the store to look for makeup, before starting my company, it was never, oh, like, is this person who makes this makeup from like their skin color? It's just you see something that suits your skin and you buy it. I was completely oblivious that other people were looking at the race of the person who owns a brand and say, oh, I can't use it because it's owned by a Black person. Whereas like a Black person would never do that for another brand.
Don't have a
And
choice
then,
sometimes.
or
Yeah,
have a choice.
right.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it really kind of like hit the head when the Black Lives Movement started happening this summer, when we just started getting a flood of people supporting our brand. And it's like, oh, like you guys knew we were here, but you guys knew we were here, but you just chose not to support us. So it's like, why? That's a question that I ask myself, but at the end of the day, it does not stop my business. We make good skincare products for people, and it's up to you to try it. And if you don't, you're just missing out. And so that's like really the philosophy that I have, that I've had with this.
Right. Because I don't even understand how, especially with skincare, I don't play with skincare. I don't play them games. I'm big on results, but I also, want to make sure that I get my product from someone who has the same skin as I do, because I don't know how you are testing this. There's some places that have, products that may work on other skin, but I don't know if you're actually running a trial period for Black women, if you're trying this on Black women, you know what I'm saying? So I think the best way for me personally, I'm like, okay, well, she's Black, she has to know. She has to know.
Exactly. And I'm in grad school right now getting a master's in cosmetic science. And some of the things that I have been like reading, every time I'm like reading a research paper and you're looking at who the participants are, we're not in there. And that's been like the biggest shock to me throughout this whole journey, because it's like we're not even included in these trials. And when we are included, it's like there may be 6 of us out of the 100 people that they surveyed and tested. And so that, like, literally, when I tell you that I am building like the next generation of skincare and topicals and ingredients, like that's my goal. Because starting the skincare company, I'm realizing that there is a huge market that I have to serve. Like, I have to do my due diligence for my people to make sure that we're included, because right now we are not included at all.
That's right on the head, right there. Immediately, like, what's a tool you need to have locked and loaded when first stepping into the skincare industry? Like, what does your mentality have to look like?
You have to be patient. You
Mm,
have to be incredibly patient, because it is not like, this is not a get rich quick thing at all. And I tell people all the time, like, if you're looking to start not even a skincare business, but any business, if you're looking to do it just for the money, like, you're better off going to get a job, because you'll get the money so much quicker, so much easier. So you have to be patient, you have to be persistent, and you have to be willing to learn and make mistakes. Because like the business that I started with to the business that I have now, it's like a complete 180. And I admire my own growth, because I'm like, wow, I'm really happy that I was able to like learn from my mistakes, talk to my customers, get their feedback, and just continuously improve. So like, you always want to be learning, improving, and making sure that you are doing the best that you can.
what's the biggest lesson you've learned from a mistake?
The biggest lesson I learned from a mistake, not releasing something too early. So when I started, it was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't have like a marketing plan in it together at all. So my thing was like, oh, I need to just keep releasing products. But really, like when I started doing that, I started also doing customer interviews and talking to them, and realizing that like they love the product. It's just something else that they would like to see added to it or see removed. And so like, just I talk to my customers a lot. Like, I'll see people who are like tagging us in things, and I'll connect with them in their DMs and say, hey, like, are you free for a call today? And so really just like making sure that we're getting that feedback, because just because I want something doesn't mean that my customers would want it or think it's great. So just making sure we're always communicating with them.
Yeah, I had a question about that, about researching your customer and market. How important is that for your business? What does that process look like? I think aside from, making those calls, is there anything else that you do to research your customer?
Yeah, so we've had this partnership with a local university, the University of Michigan, for the past 2.5 years. And so they really help us like with surveying our customers and getting that like those heavy duty like background details. And they will survey people from around the world, asking them, what are your thoughts on African beauty? What are your thoughts on Nigerian beauty? What are your thoughts on these ingredients? And so making sure that we're casting a wide net and even tapping into people who wouldn't normally like be our customer profile, like just making sure that we're covering all of our bases.
That's amazing. I keep asking about mentorship every week because we don't know the possibilities until we've seen them, representation. Why is Black leadership and mentorship important in your field?
Just like we were talking earlier about how the beauty industry is so segmented. If there weren't other Black beauty entrepreneurs, how would I know that it's possible? Or how would the person after me know that that is a career that they can go into?
Mhm.
Um, like I know in my master's program right now, there aren't a lot of Black people in it. And so I know that I am the representation that I have to make sure that I do my best because people look up to me, and even though like sometimes I don't realize it, people look up to me, and I have to make sure that they're not seeing they're not seeing me like not try. Even if they see me fail and make a mistake, at least they saw me do something versus not trying at all. And so looking up to Black people, having Black leadership is important because it gives the next generation hope. It gives the next generation even the knowledge that that career path is possible.
Wow. Yeah. How has entrepreneurship changed you?
Oh my goodness, it has humbled me so much. I like entrepreneurship is such a humbling experience, and it makes me more grounded and just more in tune of like what is servicing me, what is important
Mhm.
now, who is important now. And so it really helps get rid of all the dead weight in your life because as an entrepreneur, your brain is on 24/7. And if something is constantly like pulling something out of you or draining you, you have to cut it off. If it comes back to you, then maybe you need to approach it a different way. Maybe you didn't approach it right the first time, but I'm very quick with like I don't like wasting my time. Like I have a calendar that I stick to,
Mm.
and so like if somebody books time on my calendar and they don't follow through, it's like I'm sorry, but I cannot give you that time slot
Are
again.
you a Virgo?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Because I was like, oh boy, I feel the Virgo.
My sister's a Virgo, so she's even like she's like more than me, but I
Yeah.
definitely like picked up that from her too growing up. But like I just because like I only have so much brain capacity, I can't give everything my attention. It just doesn't make sense.
You
It's
won't
not
have
healthy
anything
at
for
all.
yourself. And
Exactly.
that's like, what does your self-care routine look like? I know that's not, it has nothing to do with this, but I do want to know because, when you say my brain is on
Mhm.
24/7, what does relaxation look like to you? What does, taking a load off, just relaxing and making sure that you spend time with yourself look like for you?
Yes. So a few days a week, I wake up at like 5 in the morning every day. And some days I'll wake up and I'll just take a bubble bath. I'll just sit in the tub and relax, take a bath. I love going on walks just by myself. Like I'm gonna just take a stroll today. And even like I told you earlier, I'm listening to Christmas music right now. So doing things that put joy into my life is like self-care.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, yeah, that's important. I think it's just so important to make sure you cater to yourself and cater
Mhm.
to your business, but make sure that you have enough to keep going. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
suffer from that.
Exactly. And I will say, like, when I was giving my attention to everything, my business was definitely suffering. It's like you cannot split yourself the way you think. And I was so caught up in that hustle mindset of like, I need to be doing 5,000 things
Team
to
no sleep. Yeah,
exactly.
team
It's like,
no sleep
no,
will take you
now
out.
it's like I need to go to bed at 9. I need to get my 8 hours of sleep. And I just can't, I'm sorry, like I can't focus. I can't dedicate like what I was doing. I can't do it anymore. So realizing that when you put yourself first, the other things in your life just naturally blossom because you feel good about yourself. And that's positive energy that you are putting out into the world and the positive energy that you're giving to things.
Yes, there is peace with working smarter and not harder. You know what I'm saying? It's just learning the working smarter will take some time, but you'll get there
For
eventually.
sure.
Like everybody, I was a grinder. I would grind hard in the paint, no sleep. I don't got time. I sleep when I'm dead. That whole idea. No, as soon as like 27 hit me, I said, oh yeah, this is gonna kill me. And I won't be here.
Literally,
Yeah, I won't be
literally,
here.
yeah.
I did want to talk about misconceptions, especially with Black women and skincare. You know, what's one misconception you think we should be able to dismantle regarding Black women and skincare? Like if it was a bunch of Black women in a room and if we have all these myths and ideas, that I'm sure sometimes you hear and you're like, no, that's not true at all. Is there anything in skincare that you feel that we should dismantle?
Um, Definitely the use of sunscreen. I think that we as Black women, we've always been told like, oh, you don't need
You're
sunscreen,
Black.
like, you're Black. But
Mm-hmm.
no, like the environment has completely changed and we are at a really high exposure for skin cancer because we're not using sunscreen. And so that is like I use sunscreen every day and that is just part of my regimen. And because when I learned that like it's like my moisturizer. So it's built in. It's my moisturizer built in. But it's like when I like started a couple years ago, I learned just like how damaging it was. And even
Mhm.
I was in Los Angeles like a couple years ago and I saw how burnt my skin got. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I can't do that. Like that's not cute anymore. When I was a kid, it was fun getting burnt because I wanted to get a little darker. But now as an adult, it's like I need to make sure I'm protecting my skin.
Mhm.
And like when you feel that burned skin, it hurts. And so just making sure that we are using our sunscreen. Even let's let go of that myth altogether because it is a complete myth. Even if it were true 25 years ago, carbon emissions, the environment's changed, the ozone has changed. Like
Mhm.
it's dead. We got to take care of our skin.
Right. And I know, you said ILERA translates to the word health.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Everyone has their own idea of what healthy skin looks like, especially when you think like, oh, it's no bumps, so it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to know anything else, but as long as I have no acne, I'm healthy. What exactly should we be looking for to define healthy skin?
Really, like what are we intaking? I've seen people
Mm.
who have like the clearest skin and then like the most beautiful skin, but like you look at what they eat and you're like, man, their insides have to be rotten. So yeah, like they were blessed to like it's
Uh-huh.
like like they're blessed with smooth skin, but just because your skin is smooth doesn't mean it's healthy. You could also be it could be dry. And just because it's shiny doesn't mean it's hydrated. You really might have just put too much oil on your face. And so really like looking at our skin, it's like researching our skin and researching what we're putting on our bodies and understanding that like some things and products are not the best. So, for example, when we first came out with our body wash, it was heavy with shea and it didn't lather. And so people thought it didn't work. And it's like, no, it's working. It's just, it doesn't have all of the SLS in it and all of the surfactants in
Mm.
it. It doesn't have the extra dose in it, but it's still working. And so just like through customer experience, customer interviews, it's like we did have to modify a formula, but we have to like dismiss the fact that just because something doesn't lather, it's not working. Just like the same with toothpaste. Like your toothpaste doesn't need to lather for it to work. That's just something that we've been trained to do.
And we've been
And it's
conditioned to think that, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because the bells and whistles aren't in the simple ingredients. Like, there's power behind simple ingredients. And I have to tell myself that too, because I'm like, it's not tingling. It's not burn. I'm thinking things are supposed to burn on my skin for it to work. I'm like, ooh, I feel it working. Just because it tingles doesn't mean it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's irritation. You're like just irritating your skin.
right. But I think it's working. I'm like, oh, okay, I can feel it now. It's working. Um, but why is it so important to have those simple ingredients in there? Tell me more about that, because I think a lot of us are ignorant to that.
Simple ingredients are powerful ingredients. Like things derived from nature. That's the purest form that you're gonna get.
Mm.
So like we have body butters and ours is going to be like a very thick consistency. We don't use like the water in it. And so when people are using it, they get kind of shocked. They're like, it's not overly whipped. It's not like super like water based. And it's like, well, no, because you don't need that. A little bit goes a long way. And when you use cleaner ingredients, more organic ingredients, a little bit really does go a long way with what you use.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are a lot of myths, even like the whole like use of synthetics. Some synthetics can be good, and so it's really important that we dismiss like the things that say um like no parabens, and like there are a lot of beauty companies that say they have a list of no's, and it's like, well, your list of no's doesn't really count because those ingredients shouldn't be in that product to begin with. And so when we're looking at our labeling, even though you might not understand what the word means, but using tools like Google to just do a quick Google search
Right.
and seeing what is this ingredient,
Yeah.
because like I know a lot of people say like if they can't pronounce something they're not going to use it, and that's really a limiting thought, because it's like just because your vocabulary isn't there doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like on like what is it, I was online a couple of days ago and somebody had like this chemical, like a list of 30 chemicals or chemical names, and they say, would you put this on your skin? And everyone said no. It turns out it was a composition of an apple. It was just the scientific words that were
Oh
used
boy.
for it.
Right.
So it's like I think that we have to it's really important that we have to get more knowledgeable on what we're putting in our skin, the ingredients that we're using, and understanding that just because you can't pronounce or you don't know what the word means, it's not bad.
Yes, it's a
Some
very
things are
important
safe.
thing. Like
Yeah.
it's something that we should be able to take. We need to take care of. It is important. I heard you say in the beginning, you are getting your second master's while running a store.
Mhm.
What has that been like? What?
It is tough. However, it has made my vision so much larger.
Wow.
Like when I tell you that I am so happy I'm doing this program right now, because the opportunities have completely opened for me. My thought process, what I thought I had grand visions are like small visions now. And where I see my company going, like I think I briefly said like, yeah, like we're gonna be so much more than a skincare company, really moving into like that biotech arm, start creating our own ingredients, start really like being the scientist and having that, like being that scientist behind a brand and creating ingredients that other brands can use. Like
Mm,
that's what's on the vision and the goal now, versus we still are looking for global distribution. We're still looking to be a household name, but we're looking to be a global household name, just like L'Oreal is a brand and a research arm and a biotech firm.
all the
We're
things.
looking to be that. That's where the vision is now.
Yes, there is no limit
So
here. There's no
none.
limit here. Yeah, because of pandemic, did you have to shift your business goals? Like, do they look different now? And if so, how have you shifted them?
Yeah. So the pandemic really kind of like put a stop on everything we had planned to do. At the beginning of the year, like we had booked different in-person events, different trade shows in
Mhm.
both here in the States and in West Africa. And so we weren't able to do any of that. So we had to shift to going completely online, obviously. And I think that really helped us as a brand, because it allowed us to connect with our customers more, allowed us to reach more people. And so, although this pandemic has been horrible, I will say that it's the blessing I didn't know I needed, because it was a mind shift change in how we approach business, how we talk to our customers, sending out more emails, being more vocal, and being more vocal on social media as well. In addition to that, we started implementing services like Curbside Pickup. So customers are able to find us online. They do a quick Google search on ILERA Apothecary Detroit. They find our address and they're able to come right to our manufacturing facility to pick up products that they've ordered online.
And
So
how does that,
between
how important is that for your business?
I didn't realize like how I needed that.
Mhm.
And when we started to implement it, like people come to us now, we have like people who constantly are coming to pick up items now. versus there was never like a face to a name. And now, like when we see the order, like we know exactly who that person is. And it's really cool to get to like just to say hi to people, just to wave to someone, even if I'm putting the bag in their back seat. It's just like it's building that community. Like it's just making us stronger to our community.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that how you've been able to stay connected with the community during this time? How have you been?
Absolutely. So, like I had a customer come a few days ago to pick something up. It was my first time meeting her, but she had ordered from us so many times before. So it was great talking to her, even though like we had our mask on, I'm outside, she's in the car. It was great talking to her because it's like, wow, now we have like deeper dialogue. I'm able to have a better rapport with her. If she has a question, she can call us or send us an email directly and feel more comfortable doing that.
That trust. I love that there's trust that it's building within like the consumer and the business owner, because I think, if we were able to have more talks, dialogue between each other, it creates more understanding for what you need. Like, what does the business owner need from me, as a consumer? How can I show you I support you besides financially?
Oh my goodness, leaving us a review. So we have optimized our Google profile, and I would love for people to leave us a review directly from there. Sharing our story is huge. Like our community is so good at sharing the things that we're doing. So just people continuing to share our story. Like anytime we're doing an event, something similar to this, like share it with your community. Word of mouth is why we're here today. Our business has really been built on word of mouth, and so telling other people about us, and then even giving me direct feedback. If you got something and it was not up to like what you wanted, don't feel like you can't reach out to us because we reply to emails. We really make sure like we reply to everything, and we appreciate that feedback because it helps us to be a stronger company. It helps us to do better in the future. And so like just those things, leaving us a review, sharing our story, and communicating with us and giving us feedback.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. I mean, during this climate, how have you been able to reach new customers? I know you said social media. If you could talk a bit more about that, how are they finding out about you and your business?
Yeah, so people are sharing our profile anytime that they get a product, like people are tagging us Skin by ILERA or ILERA Apothecary. They're sharing it in their stories, which is awesome. And so really like that is how they're able to find us. And then really just like searching for us online, like you're able to even shop with us directly online too, so you can find us there, like
Mhm.
from our Google page.
Okay. And if, I'm starting out a new skincare routine, what are 3 products I should be using of yours just to start?
So certainly our balancing rose toner, our revitalizing night oil, and our clarifying face mask. And we started introducing these discovery kits, so you can get little 1 ounce sizes of the cleansing system or the moisturizing system. You can try the whole line out. And that's actually what we've implemented during COVID, because since we aren't able to do in-person events, have people try things out, we started implementing like the sample sizes that people can try the whole discovery kit. And then we have a QR code in it, so you can go straight to the website again once you've gotten it, and then select the product that you want to do or you want to purchase.
Oh, that's incredible. Okay, great. I can start that. I can do that. What is the importance behind night oils? Just let me know. I haven't done it before, but I know that it's very important. Everybody keeps talking about it, but I don't know why it's so important for night
Yeah.
oils to be a thing.
So our revitalizing night oil, it has avocado oil, shea oil, grapeseed jojoba oil, and so it helps to fight the free radicals that are in our environment, and it helps to prevents wrinkles and aging. So like with environmental toxins, free radicals are in the air. It makes us age faster. So by using a night oil, you're putting that moisture into your skin. You're putting really those nutrients and benefits into your skin and protecting it, preserving it to prevent those wrinkles. And you wake up with a glow, you wake up moisturized. And so it helps to repair your skin when you sleep.
I mean, and just look at the material. You see the skin, it glows. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, wow, there is literally no imperfection. It's just flawless. Your skin is really
Oh,
flawless.
thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yes. But I want to thank you for catering to women who look like me, catering to skin that is like mine. Uh, I will definitely continue to support. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't talk about what's happening in your homeland, Nigeria. Your family is there. I wanted to know if you have anything that you would like to share, a resource, inspiring words, anything that you would want to say to the people out there.
Yes. So like my sister, my co-founder, my brother's there, as well as 90% of my family from my grandparents, cousins, uncles, everyone is in Nigeria. And what's going on right now, it needs I don't want to say it needs to happen, but the corruption that has been plaguing that country for years,
Mhm.
and like the stagnant of growth that it's been able to have because of the greedy politics,
Mhm.
I'm happy that the youth are uprising. It's so sad that people are being killed because of this and people have to lose their lives. However, there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel because they're tired. There's absolutely no reason that that country should be in the state that it is in if it weren't for the greed and the politics that were really just like a pest to the country. And so I want the people there to know that we are here supporting them. We are still sharing the story. Anything that we can do to share, like we are sharing, anytime people are tagging us or we see a video online, we're sharing it in our stories, we're sharing it online for other people to see because people need to understand that dirty politics is not, it's not the status quo anymore, and we're tired. The country deserves so much better. Africa deserves so much better. Black people deserve so much better. And if people want to keep poking at us, we are going to rise, we're going to survive. And I I really, I don't know. It's like I'm just at a loss for words because growing up, like I witnessed like my parents just like always talking about how corrupt the government is, how corrupt things are, not even like realizing how bad it really is. Like I saw a video yesterday of all the supplies that they were sent for COVID was locked up in a warehouse while the people are starving in the streets. Personally, like both of my brothers have been detained by SARS in the past because they have locks. And it's just like people, you cannot do bad, you cannot do wrong to other people and not feel the ramifications of it. So Nigeria, like here in America, we are supporting everything that is happening. We are with the youth, we are with the movement and SARS. And really like dirty politics is not going to last any longer. You know, like these people, they have gotten their money, they have squandered the country. It's not going to happen anymore. Not with this generation, not with the generation behind us who are finally stepping up and saying enough is enough.
Beautiful words. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, I do want to add on that, when you scream and when we talk about Black Lives Matter, we are talking about all Black lives mattering, they all matter, there is no limit. It's Black lives everywhere around the globe. So I think it's, very important to make sure that you know the resources, help out when you can. If you're out there listening, you're looking, I have some on my Instagram at Scotty Beam. Make sure that, you can do what you can. And that's all I'm saying. I implore you to do the research, read about it. It's everywhere, and help out. So, thank you so much for sitting with me. I really do appreciate it. This was a great conversation. Remember to search the hashtag in the Black to stay up to date and support our featured Black owned businesses. I'm Scotty Beam. See you next week. Peace. Bye, everyone.
Bye.